Hello vinyl community, my name's Neil. I'm a long-term collector. I've never uploaded a video before. This is my second attempt. The camera just died at the first attempt. I'm going to try and do it really quickly because I believe I have 12 minutes to do it in. But I've seen the Rob Walker vinyl tag videos recently. I found them really inspiring. Loved some of the videos that I've seen, especially the shout out to Don Ellis. I've never heard the words Don and Ellis used in a sentence by another human being before. So I'm going to crack on. First album is favourite album that you bought in 2021. Lot of competition for that, but for me it was getting a Magic Band, the post Captain Beefheart Magic Band version on vinyl. I've got 3 other albums signed by Mark Boston, Denny Wally, the great Denny Wally, and Drumbo. They were magnificent in concert, so it's just lovely. Like a lot of things, if you like a band, it's nice to have a taste of vinyl. The second one, Bugbin Pet Hate Number 1. An album by the first band that you saw. I didn't see the Velvet Underground or the Beatles or Elvis Presley first. I saw Snatch It Back at a pub in Cwmbran. Snatch It Back are a British Welsh, I think Welsh, band. This is recorded live in Cardiff at the Royal Oak Broadway. And the other great thing about this is it comes with an insert that is advertising lots of the different Cardiff music related businesses, including an advert for Spillers Records, the oldest record shop in the world. Choice 3, album of a duo. I'm going to go for an album that I've had for a long time. It was one of the first albums that I bought once I went to Manchester and started discovering all sorts of new things. And it's live at Woodstock Town Hall by Stu Martin and John Sermon. It's the kind of jazz that is really fulfilling for a duet, and it's got Are You Positive You're Negative, Professor Goodley's Implosion Machine, Harry Lovett, Man Without a Country. It was the first taste I got of something that I hadn't heard of that was really fulfilling and enjoyable. 4, Still in Shrink. Now, as a point of principle, I usually rip the shrink off unless it's got something like a lovely shiny colour. This is Yo La Tengo Fade, and it's got one of those, contains 3 exclusive unreleased tracks, plus the 11-minute Oriole on the download coupon, entire album included in download coupon. If it's got one of those things, I've got another Yo La Tengo as well, which again has got the name of the album there and limited edition orange vinyl. Oh, I could use this for coloured vinyl. But usually the shrink comes off unless there's something particularly interesting on there. Going back to early discoveries, a concept album. This is one that only I knew about. It's Nigel Lived, Murray Head, 60 pence from a library sale, and I only bought it because it had a couple of jazz people that I like. But as a concept album, you can't beat Nigel Moves to the Big City. And the first side has, I think it's 3 of the most beautiful Being in Love, gorgeous, play it to your new girlfriend type songs. But there's a diary inside, and at the start, all Nigel's writing is very, you can see it, he's moved there full of optimism and it's all nicely written. And by the end, the city's got to him, he's discovered drugs and he's going under. So that's a great concept album. It's a great 60 pence. And it's again one of the early albums that taught me that it's worth going out, digging and finding something a bit different. Next album, an album you've not played yet. I love the Kinks. Everyone loves the Kinks. The Kinks are really tuneful. I bought that years ago and I'm scared to play it in case it's not as good as other Kinks stuff. It's the Kinks Low Budget. I've even read that it's good, but I think I've had it for 4 or 5 years now and just haven't got around to playing it. An artist that you discovered in 2021. I mentioned Spillers earlier. Spillers, they're all lovely people, but it's a bit reminiscent of the scene in High Fidelity when he says, and now I'm going to sell 5 albums by whoever it is, the Beta Band. And about 50% of the time when I'm in Spillers, I have to go to the front. So he goes, oh, who are you playing then? And in this case, it was Audiobooks, who are a Welsh, I think, Welsh-English duo, another duo. Very Welsh title, Now in a Minute, which is something that I think we're the only people that say we're going to do it now in a minute. It's electronica with a Welsh female singer who does sort of stream of consciousness. They've also brought out since then Astrotuff Audiobooks. So it's Audiobooks Now in a Minute and Audiobooks Astrotuff. The band name is Audiobooks. They're excellent. I cannot tell a lie. Live album was only going to have to be one person. I'll try to mention him only once, Frank Zappa, in this video. But there's only two reasons I like Frank Zappa more than anyone else, and that's his studio albums and his live albums. And I don't know whether it's my favourite, but it's a favourite I got on vinyl, and that's Live in New York. There's a lot of magnificence on there. Probably the thing I like most is Illinois Enema Bandit and Punky's Whips as well, but it's full of loveliness. This version is the most recent issue, which has got a side 6 with extra stuff. It's got the extra things like Cruising for Burgers, which were added on top of the original release. The original release, which a lot of the time was bought without Punky's Whips even. Oh, Punky. So he's my favourite live musician. He's my favourite musician, and that's just about my favourite live album that I've got on vinyl, again against stiff competition. 9, From a Different Continent. That's Why the House Looks Like a Bomb Site. I nearly went mad during that one. And I'm going to go with John Peel's favourite band, his Desert Island Disc, Just Beating the Undertones. And that's the Four Brothers. It was recorded in Harare. It has Rugare and Pamasorai and all sorts of hits like that. It is like almost every other thing I've got from different continents, made in London on Cooking Vinyl. But that was the nearest I could find to something definitely from a different continent. I think number 10 is price sticker still on. Very much like the shrink wrap, price stickers definitely come off as soon as I can possibly get them off. But this is nearly a 70-year-old album now. I've always loved this sticker on the front. It's got the word price in it, so it's nearly a price sticker. It's All Jazz, which is a collection of Pacific jazz. It's something that was very much an influence from my dad's collection when I was young. It's got all sorts of famous people on it, and every tune on there is a winner. And again, it taught me, you can probably see the names of all the people who were on there. And it's got a 2 for the price of 1. Back from the time when vinyl ruled. There's not enough information in the album, so my dad's got the Jazz Monthly 1965 information about the lineups on there. If you look on the other side, there are various adverts about sending away for your record catalogue so that you could get the latest nifty hit records. 10, 11. 11 is a punk or new wave. Now, I don't go much for punk. I've got a lot of new wave. And then it occurred to me that I wanted to choose this album. And then I thought the big hit has actually got punks in the title. The stuff before it and the stuff after it is okay, but this, The Tubes, by The Tubes, is it The Tubes or White Punks on Dope? I think it's called The Tubes. Yep, it's The Tubes. It's got White Punks on Dope on it. It's got What Do You Want From Life, which is I think my favourite track on it, but Everyone is a winner on there. I love the album. 12 is a box. My favourite box, again against stiff competition, is Just Jazz on the Gigante di Jazz cheap Italian label. It's got the easiest spot the odd one out competition ever. It's got Earl Hines in it, and then we have Ornette Coleman, which I think is the London concert, a lovely Anthony Braxton, a superb Sam Rivers, and a marvellous Albert Ayler. They must have got to 4 in the morning and said, well, we got 4 bands, what have we got left? Stick Earl Hines in there, because he sticks out a sore thumb. Number 14, Jazz. Just Show a Jazz album. Again, from the days I've mixed up the order, from the days where I was discovering Jazz Raga by Garba Zabo. This was £1. It's nice condition, not brilliant condition. But it's got Walking on Nails, Search for Nirvana. It's got a nice version of Paint It Black, Ravi, Pretty Purdy on the drums. But again, it was another one of those finds that made me realise that there was a lot of music out there. 13, I missed out, which is a sporting theme. I was going to do Thick as a Brick, which has got all the sporting results on the back. But instead, like a lot of Hawkwind fans, the space rock is fine, but I always wanted Mike Batt to arrange an album of theirs in mariachi style with Eric Clapton on guitar and a sporting cricket theme. So this is Hawkwind Road to Utopia, and with a lot of things. It's got the little magazine review, it's got the magazine article, but it's got first innings, mariachi, cork, strangeness and charm, second innings, and that's Hawkwind Road to Utopia. A greatest hits album. I thought of the first album that came to my mind, and it makes me feel like I'm linked to the rock royalty, because every bit of rock royalty had the best of Muddy Waters back in the day. Monaural Pie International R&B series. An album with at least 8 people on it. This is the Broughton Superchip, which has many people on it. A lot of them you can't see. It has got, of course, the magnifying glass, which you can rip off and look at, but that would spoil the value of it, so I'm not going to do that, even though I'll never ever sell it. Film soundtrack. I'm not so much into film soundtracks, but Cheech and Chong's Up in Smoke, especially the first 10 minutes, cheers me up a lot. Turning over the page. VCLT, if I understand what VCLT is, it's something that someone else in the vinyl community gave me. I don't know what dross I gave Ali, who is known as Dark House Family or Don Leisure, and brings out such music as Shabu and Snitch's Brew. But he gifted me Rice Khan, an absolutely lovely Indian classical album, and I was very lucky to have it. Record with no write-in. This is one of my most beloved possessions, and that's Faust London tapes. It's got no writing at all on it. I've got a leaf from the Thresher that they used on stage. It's got the front page, which was painted in part by the Naked Singer during the concert. I think they were 150 over 2 nights, 151, 150 the other night. And that is definitely one of my prized possessions. There is writing on it because 3 people have scribbled their name: Jean Huron, Zappi, and the other guy. 7-inch single and coloured vinyl. Now, I didn't want to insult the vinyl community, so an actual piece of coloured vinyl is the most recent purchase from Spillers, which is the new album by Kate Le Bon, Pompeii. A 7-inch single. I'm going to show 2 because initially I was going to show this, a lovely piece of Robyn Hitchcock vinyl which just came, which is on lovely pink vinyl. But one of my prized possessions is the Sabres, Roly Poly, backed with Will You Always Love Me, which my uncle played drums on. It's on Decca by the Sabres, and that is definitely one of my prized possessions. And I think all I've got left now is an album from 1982. And 1982, I believe there were lots of good things, but I'm going to go for Song of the Bailing Man by Pere Ubu, one of my favourite bands. You have 5 seconds left, so I hope I can be able to upload this.